Good morning, and Linda's back after yesterday. How are you feeling today?
Tickety-boo. I'll tell you what, bit of advice. Don't whack your head. It gives you a headache and neck ache.
Yeah, you didn't feel good at the best of times. Then you bang your head and you ended up in a right state, didn't you?
Felt sorry for myself.
Fair enough. So today we're going to carry on up through Milton Keynes, heading towards Stokebrun tomorrow, where we're going to meet my daughter on Saturday. And our Australian friend.
A Australian visitor.
So all that's to come. So yeah, just Milton Keynes today and out the other side.
Maybe stop at Cosgrove tonight.
Yeah, we'll see.
Somewhere like that anyway.
It really is a nice canal. We've got loads of stuff set out. I just saw the bridge with Japanese symbols. Beautiful bench all painted up. Oh, boat coming. Yes, there's graffiti, but look at that lovely thing behind. Really, really nicely done. Fair few moored boats coming up. So we go nice and slow. And on the helm today is Linda. I'm making my tea. Well, not this very second, my kettle's on. Should be boiling soon. And Linda's steering us past all these boats. Picturesque little bridge. Number 77, I believe. There's a lovely park here. Pub down the back there. Not fully sure what this is. Last time we came past here, there was all barriers, weren't there? They were doing work on the...
What were they doing that?
I think that's right. I think they were doing that lovely pond down there.
That pond was definitely not there before.
No, so they were working on that, digging all that out.
There's a castellated tower there.
Not quite sure what this is. I think that's a church, so that's probably their manor church. I'll have to look it up, see what it is. Is that Gifford Park? What was that bridge number?
The arm's not that long.
No, not sure.
The arm's not long.
So Linda's complaining that I brought her a cup of tea, and because I wanted to film that, she can't reach it.
We're 8 miles away. Thank you, darling.
That nice?
Oh, grand. Not as good as your home ones.
Not bad though. So it's a very different experience sitting at the front of the boat, much more peaceful and serene. So as Linda's having a good old steer today, I'm going to sit at the front and get some lovely footage, see if you can get the idea of just how pleasant it is sitting at the front. Hope nothing's coming. What a lovely picture. It's a sad world, isn't it? People have to add graffiti to what is a beautiful scene. Anyway, that's the world we live in. Bridge 75. So that's quite nice houses.
Complete with mooring.
Complete with mooring, yeah. If you want to moor by your own house, apparently you have to pay the CRT half of the going rate for a private canal side mooring in that area. Because you are on their water, and it is their bank. I think that's fair.
That's nice there.
Yeah. Made the best of the canal side, definitely made the best of the canal side kind of
And they got little
position. Was it a kennel?
Kennel or duck house.
Duck house has to be in the water. And again, nice moorings. Don't think we use that, there's no mooring rings. But yeah, you can see why a lot of people buy houses by the side of a canal. Years ago, in the Industrial Revolution, the side of a canal was disgusting. Nothing lived in it. It was full of, well, put it this way, the boaters didn't have toilets. Everybody dumped everything in there. All the factories chucked their stuff into the canal. It was disgusting. Much cleaner now. So they're off over an aqueduct. Always like going over these. I think it goes over a big road.
What road is it?
Not sure. So that's the road we're going over. Big dual carriageway. Not sure what road that is. Big roundabout up there. But yeah, here we are going over the traffic.
This is really, really weird, driving over a dual carriageway.
Yeah.
You know, sit there thinking, I wonder if they're looking up going, oh my God, there's a boat going in front.
Yeah, it must be very odd looking up and thinking, there's a boat going over us.
And it's even weird going and thinking, shoot, there's cars below us.
So there you are, it's quite nice. You see some right wrecks on the canal, and you see some really just tastefully done boats. Look at the lovely flowers. Nothing special, just cared for, looked after.
Obviously very loved.
Definitely. Some beautiful flowers.
We're just saying how lovely your boat is. Not as nice as yours.
Big goods train going over. This is Wolverton coming up.
Where the Royal Train is still kept, apparently.
Say again, Linda?
Where the Royal Train is still kept, apparently.
Oh yeah, there's a big graffiti, big painting here. Do you remember it?
Yep.
So, this is Wolverton, which, as Linda said earlier, is where the Royal Train's kept. It used to be a big railway area, and that's some wonderful, I'm not sure, graffiti art, and it just is really well placed because that's the railway, I believe, on the other side. Not the railway yard that was, and the Royal Train's kept round here. So it's just good to see. Even got a marker, Fenny Stratford 8 miles, Bletchley 8 miles. There's Wolverton. Closer look. Yeah, I think that was done, if I remember, I'll look it up, I'll put it in the description underneath. I think it was done by a famous artist, who, not that famous, but a well-known artist. And then, if I remember rightly, it was restored many years later, because it sort of fell apart and got messy and peeled off and all the rest. But yeah. It's supposed to be a nice pub just down here by the Iron Bridge, so that'd be great.
And I want to go along the walk along the Iron Bridge, so that'd be nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. Over there's a nice heron. Not sure if he's watching for fish or watching us. Can't make his mind up.
He's not looking at us, so it must be fish.
Boats generally don't bother them. They'll often stay, you can go really close. If you walk by one that close, they'd fly off. Lovely little scene. Not sure what the banging is in the background, sounds like an industrial unit of some kind. So peaceful. I managed to find a mooring. The middle peg and the back rope are all moored up very nice. Front one's a bit long. It's not ideal, but it's securely moored. And the reason we wanted to moor up is there is the pub.
And we want some lunch.
Lunchtime. Well, that was nice, wasn't it?
Scrumptious.
We had a lovely meal at the Galleon pub.
Yep, and I'm now thoroughly podged.
And a beer.
Well, I had shandy, but it was a beer shandy. I don't like large shandies.
So, this side of Wolvie, which is the north side, the Galleon pub, well worth a visit. Bridge, what was it, 70 something, I can't remember now.
Just before the aqueduct.
Okay, so we're off to the Iron Aqueduct now, which is a wonderful thing to see.
Just beware of the paddleboard in front of us.
I'm watching, don't you worry.
Good.
So the Iron Aqueduct that's coming up was built when they originally opened the canal in the 1790s. They had to cross a river, the River Great Ouse, and it's in a deep valley. It's the lowest point of it between Tring and Berkhamsted, I think. Not Berkhamsted, Tring and Braunston. And they originally built 4 locks down to the bottom and 5 locks up, and then constructed a 3-arch brick bridge, didn't they? Aqueduct, 3 arches, and that worked really, really well, saved the water. The aqueduct was far better, but unfortunately it fell down. The original architect was heavily criticised. Actually, it wasn't his fault. There was a court case and he was completely absolved and they got paid damages. So they had to resort to the locks again, had to reopen all the locks. And then in the about 20, something like that, maybe earlier, I'll look up the date, they did another design with a cast iron trough, like the Pontyclefti, I can't say that, aqueduct in Pontyclefti aqueduct in Wales that Thomas Telford had pioneered with a cast iron trough. So they did it here. Only being a wide canal, they had to have it twice as wide, well supported. So they built this wonderful structure, which we'll see in a minute or two. We'll moor up and go and have a look. And solve the problem. And here we are, all these years later, nearly 200 years later, using the same, well, over 200 years later, using the same thing. Kind of weird, isn't it? Like a paddleboarder coming past. So here's the aqueduct, and from the top it don't look very impressive. You sort of think, is that it? But actually it is very impressive from down below. So we're definitely going to moor up, have a little look. And as you can see, it's a cast iron trough. You can see on the left already where it's painted white. It's very thin. It's a big cast iron trough with a towpath sort of cantilevered on the side. And it's quite a drop down to the river down there, as you can see. So there used to be 9 locks, 4 down, 5 up. And if you go the other side, there's the River Great Ouse. So we've moored up just up there to our boat and having a little look, and it is quite a drop down. I'm not very good with heights. You'll get a better view when we're down there of how far down it is. And it was actually opened in 1811, this one. So it's over 200 years old and still in use. And you can see over there the cast iron, just a cast iron trough supported on 2 arches. Let's go and look at the arches, shall we? Iron Trunk Aqueduct. Oldest broad canal iron trough aqueduct, opened 1811. The 4th attempt by the Grand Junction Canal, now called the Grand Union, to cross the River Great Ouse. So first it was locks, then it was the first bridge, fell down, then the locks again, then this one. So as we go down, you start to see what we've got here. And, oops, a big step, nearly went flying. So you get a better idea of the height. We'll go further back to have a look. So there it is, 1811. 200 years later still being used on a daily basis. That is so impressive. They did know how to build things in them days. And although the first one did, the second one did collapse, that was bad workmanship, not the design apparently. Let's go down to the river, shall we? So that's us down at river level. It really is nice and impressive. And that's the river off there, which sometimes runs very, very fast. And the horses had to cross it.
Adrian, you can use me.
So there we are, you can see it pretty well from all its glory. It'd be nice to see a boat going over. But
Hang on a minute, I'll just go and reverse our boat over for you.
Oh, go on then, I'll wait here.
Okay, hang on.
Actually, got to clean the prop up first because we couldn't move when we moored up. But yeah, that's a really pleasant. And as you saw, when you went over it from the top, it looks absolutely nothing, just like a little tiny narrow bit. But when you actually see it in all its glory, you think, yeah. So we're coming back up the steps now to where we were, where the viewpoint was, and there's a little tunnel here. You get a few of these on the canal, often called horse tunnels. Get the horse on one side to the other. In fact, there's a good one on the Kennet and Avon, where all the moorings on one side of the canal, and do you remember there's a massive pub on the other side, a very popular pub, and you couldn't get, there's no bridges to get there, you had to go through the tunnel.
Now a clever person would have charged all the boaters for going through the tunnel.
I think the landlord was quite happy making the money he did. Right, back to our boat. So we're heading up towards the lock now, which is very close to just past the Iron Bridge really. A lot of boats moored up, double moored both sides of the canal here. But it's wide enough. And that is Raymond. Do you want to steer a minute? That is Raymond, which is an original Barlow boat. It's a butty, as you can see, it's got the big rudder to steer it. So the front, this one nearest to us, tows the other one. That was originally a Barlow boat, 1930s I think, might be older, I'll find out, put underneath. How lovely to see. And you can join Friends of Raymond online, I'll give you a link, to help support the restoration of such a wonderful historic boat. Because it really is historic. I'll put some links definitely to show you all about the boat, it's wonderful. How lovely to see that. So we moored up at the lock. It's not a very deep lock, so we shouldn't be along. And it's the only one we're going to do today. That's a nice change. So there's the lock we've come up, and there is the Buckingham Canal. I thought it was a big turning point beforehand. Under restoration, 1 mile navigable it says. Not sure how much we're going to restore.
1 mile?
No, I think it's 1 mile now. Some of these go for miles. But look it up. I'll put a link underneath, as always. Now the wind's picked up again and there's some really flat area here, so I'll probably get a bit blown around. So we just left the water point, some lovely houses. They really are. Nice little street really up there. Just goes to show modern stuff can be really nice if the designers think about it and make an effort, which they clearly have here.
Horse tunnel.
And as the sign says, horse tunnel, pub via
horse tunnel.
Maybe that's the one I was thinking about. I thought it was the Avon and Kennet.
No, that's yes, I think it is.
Because there's the Barlow pub and the moorings on the other side of the canal. So if you want to get there, you moor up here and off you go. So this looks really nice. Lovely little bridge, really pleasant houses. A very colourful boat. No doubt a colourful owner. And there's the beautiful bridge. 85, 65. So nice. So as soon as you leave Cosgrove, go underneath that bridge and it's open countryside again. Beautiful. So we're up on an embankment on this stretch. And gives you very good views across the countryside. Be wonderful mooring, wouldn't it, over there? Except that side.
Lovely church spire.
Private land. Yeah, on the horizon. So we finally moored up just by Thrupp Wharf Marina. We're about 6 miles from Stoke Brun. We're going there tomorrow to meet Victoria and friends. Yeah, lovely mooring, really, really nice. Peaceful, quiet, shaded from the wind, perfect. Oh, and a pub for navigation. Excellent. Well, that's us done for the day. It's been a good day, hasn't it?
Lovely. Moored up just north of Cosgrove.
We've had, was it 1 lock today?
Oh yeah, I've been really, really run off my feet. And that was the very last thing that we went through about 10 minutes ago.
It was.
Max. And 5 minutes of that was filling up with water.
Actually, it took near 10-15 to fill up the water. It's a bit slow.
It's the slowest tap I've ever seen.
So we've had a good couple of days. We've got ourselves through Milton Keynes, a lovely stretch of the Grand Union. And although down in London, when we did 20 odd miles of no locks, it wasn't really enjoyable. It was just straight and wide, and but this is just picturesque, isn't it?
Really lovely.
There's something to look at all the way. Farm buildings, houses,
And
lovely bank, it meanders.
Yeah. I know a lot of people sort of joke about Milton Keynes, but going through the canal, it's gorgeous, really lovely. Park after park after park.
It's certainly better than going through on the M1 or the A5. But yeah, you're right, it's lovely. It really does look nice. So give Milton Keynes another look, folks. Anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, guess what we've got to do, Linda?
Hit thumbs up.
And if you don't already, please subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.